Okay, now on to the show. So equality. This month's theme was chosen by our Johannesburg chapter and illustrated by Johannesburg-based illustrator Katlego Fatlane. The theme equality is presented by Adobe across 170 plus chapters. So Adobe is our new Creative Mornings global partner for creative tools, and we are really excited that they're on board. With Adobe's indispensable tools and decades of experience in enabling creatives to bring their ideas to life, along with Creative Mornings' unwavering commitment to unite and inspire creative communities with face-to-face connections, we are honored to be partnering with another company that is eager to champion the future of creativity and add fuel to this engine of generosity. And today we have Najina Kavookjian. I tried to practice. So Najina, she and her husband Ian are the owner of South, who provided the lovely biscuit bar, and they really put a lot of love and passion into everything they do. They do it their way, and some people don't like that you have to wait in line and not reserve your own table. But it works. Like, I've been with people that have doubted it, but it works. So they know what they're doing, and they do it really, really well. Najina was born in New Orleans and raised in Sacramento, and she is a true artist of all the senses. Together with her husband, Ian, she started her first food-based business in 2009 with a catering and full-service wedding company, which led to a first brick-and-mortar restaurant in Granite Bay, California. Combining her unapologetic disposition with a love and passion for service, they opened South in 2012, which they won the hearts of Sacramentans through some damn good fried chicken. Adding the Quinn Boutique and the Good Saint Urban Reserve, which is new and coming, to her suite of businesses, her goal is to create places where people forget to pick up their phones and simply connect with each other. I've known Najina a little bit for the past couple years, and every time I'm with her, she just has this fire that comes out of her, and she really doesn't hold back. So we've had a lot of conversations about this theme of equality, and should she hold back a little bit? What is the audience going to be able to handle? And she had, I guess, some debates, but sounds like she's not going to hold back, and we're really, really excited to have her here. Please welcome Najina Kavookjian.
Wow, okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank Creative Mornings and Rebecca, and I'm very excited to speak this morning. So for those that don't know who I am or what my husband and I do, I own a small little restaurant in Southside Park called South with my husband, Ian Kavookjian. We also own a boutique that's across the street called The Quinn, and then we are working on a urban country club called The Good Saint that we hope will open sometime next year. We went through a lot of trials and tribulations, kind of our backstory of who we are and what we've gone through to get to the point that we're at today. We had a small restaurant in Granite Bay. It was called 8 American Bistro, and this was when we were very young, and our egos were probably a little way too big when it came to making a brick and mortar restaurant. And so we thought we were ballers, and we spent way more money than we should have putting it together. And after a year, we ended up having to close it. And in doing so, it was the best experience that ever could have happened to us, because it was the worst experience that could have happened to us. We needed it to happen because we needed to be humbled. In losing the restaurant, not only did we lose the restaurant, but we lost our house. We lost our savings, and we had to start all over again. And that was 2013. So for the entire year of 2014, we hustled. My husband worked 2 jobs. I catered with our catering company, or what was left of it, and we built ourselves back up again. And we took the last $25,000 that we had in our savings account, and we had a come to Jesus talk about, do we do this? Do we take the risk all over again to kind of make this dream happen. Something that for us, we couldn't breathe without being entrepreneurs. It was just something that was ingrained inside of us, and we had to do it. And it was a risk. I mean, when you lose everything and you have 2 small children, to say, okay, we're going to try, and we're going to try to do this again, and we're going to pray that what we put out there, that people are receptive to it, and that we don't lose it all and put our children at risk. But we did. We found a small little old Chinese grocery store in Southside Park. It was completely gross and nasty inside. And we were very humbled at this experience, and we kind of let go, well, we had to let go of the ego. Those of you that were there year 1 at South, and saw what it was then compared to now. We didn't have anything. It was mismatched chairs and tables. There was no art on the wall, no air conditioning. It was pretty real. And I think that the conversation that Ian and I had when we started all over again was, though we're not pretty. And a lot of restaurants, when they open, they're very pretty. And that's that first thing that attracts you to come in, is just visually how amazing it is. We understood that we couldn't, because we weren't pretty, that we needed to be amazing inside. So we had to put out consistently amazing food with thought and love in it. And we had to touch every single table and be invested in every single customer that came in. And in doing that, we started relationships, and we took feedback, and we took criticism, and we morphed a little bit. But what we did is, and I hope we still do, is that we make connections with the people that come in the restaurant, and they feel like they're family, and they're dining inside of our home. You know, you're coming to dinner and you're sitting down at our table. And so that kind of permeates everything that we do, whether it's, you know, the retail store and the Good Saint, and one day if we ever get the deli, you know, off the ground, it's we want you to feel like you're coming into our home, you're experiencing us. We want to make connections. We want to get to know you. We strive for that. It makes our job easier if I can look out and on my dining room floor, I know everybody that's in there, and that Ian and I can have, you know, 89 amazing conversations with friends throughout our shift. That is our goal. And so that's where we're at now, and I hope we do it successfully. I think the line out the door semi-proves that. I think it's the fried chicken, too, that does that. But for the most part, that's our beginnings and how we got to where we are today. So preparing for this speech, I received an abundance of advice on how I should approach the topic that obviously has such strong emotional heaviness to a woman such as me in an industry such as this. My personal concerns, to be honest, were coming across as the angry Black woman. They were alienating or emasculating any delicate male egos, and I hope there's none of those in the house tonight or today. And I was worried about the repercussions, and some other people in my life were worried about the repercussions of me telling my story, and how that could affect our business. My younger sister, Iris, not yesterday, but 2 days ago, we were talking about it, and she put it very poignantly that, Najina, we live with the repercussions of just existing with the melanin on our skin, so just speak the truth. So here is my truth. When I was 24 years old, I made an appointment to speak with an SBA mentor about starting a path to entrepreneurship, the Small Business Bureau here in Sacramento. I had my business plan, 5-year financials, floor plans of what my future restaurant would look like. I had menus, I had everything buttoned up and perfect for my newly assigned mentor. I was eager to impress him and even more eager for his feedback. And so, sweaty palmed, I shook the hand of a very tall, dark-haired man that wasted no time in deflating any confidences that I had about myself or my lot in life. Immediately, he stated that he didn't want to waste my time or his time. Standing in front of him, I felt my posture come forward. I stopped making eye contact with him, and I started just looking down at my feet. And he told me that I was wasting my time with such endeavors, and that the restaurant industry was no place for a woman. That I should focus on finding a partner and having children. Because what kind of mother would I be if I were never at home because I was always at work? And the greatest thing that I could do was be a mom, not a businesswoman. My meeting at the SBA office lasted 7 minutes. I quietly thanked him for his advice, turned to the elevator, and held every last tear until the doors closed. Sorry. For the past 16 years, I've stomached this form of discrimination because of my gender and my race. I was paid tens of thousands of dollars less than male counterparts, and I did more, and I had more responsibility. And when I asked, it was very blatant because I was young and I was a woman. I was told by my bosses that it would benefit me if I would dress sexier at work because my black pantsuits did not reflect, they reflected negatively on the company's bougie restaurant atmosphere. And I was bringing everybody down because I wore black pantsuits. I had male employees that told me that they would prefer if I didn't discipline them and if the male manager could discipline them, because it was uncomfortable to have a woman tell them what to do. It's hard to even, in 2017, that I still have to stomach such archaic bullshit in this industry. Thank you. And that I have male counterparts that feel that my successes are a mere folly of luck and not what I've done. So at 40 years of age, I'd like to say that I'm definitely harder than I was in my 30s. And unlike then, I no longer meekly allow such behaviors from men. But sadly, I've been conditioned to unconsciously modify my own behaviors to get the same results that man in my same status can work more directly to attain. Example, I have a all-male kitchen staff, and they are some of the most amazing men, hardworking, ride or die, and even though my mother said don't cuss, motherfuckers in the industry. So South men, back of the house, if you hear this podcast, please understand that we don't do this without you. That said, motivating them to perform at a level that my husband and I desire to put out the food quality and consistency is a daily undertaking. Most days we shine, but on the days that we struggle as a team, I find myself saying shit like, isn't it emasculating that I have to keep nagging you like a wife to do this over and over again? Aren't you sick of me telling you what to do? Now let's stop and think about that comment for a minute. First, I'm demeaning my own worth and status by saying that my request to perform your job standards per our work standard for the restaurant is the equivalent of a nagging wife. Not an owner, not a boss, but a nagging wife. It's that, babe, could you please take out the trash, nagging wife attitude. Then better yet, I put my male employee's egos and his comfort above my wish to be direct by stating that my nagging is emasculating to him. I don't want you to become lesser of a man by having a woman discipline you. Do you think that male business owners ever have to tiptoe around the male worker's masculinity to ask them to perform their jobs correctly? They don't. And the shitty thing is that when I say it to my male staff, it works every single time. Why? Because we live in a society that deems the feminine as a negative. Don't be a pussy. Stop being a bitch. To be female is to be weak. I was told yesterday that I had balls because of the way that I run our company, a male attribute assigned to my strength in successfully co-owning 3 businesses. Men in business, please understand that this practice is bullshit. It's hurtful and it's demeaning, and it's not me being a whiny bitch by saying it. Please understand that this social behavior cannot continue for another generation. We as women are not second to you, but equal with you. We strive to build and create with you. So please stop seeing our strengths as weapons against you. This is a partnership, and our goals are the same. I have 2 children, and many a night I'm up at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling of our bedroom, contemplating these future scenarios that could happen, as most parents do. And I worry that I'm not raising my daughter hard enough, that I'm too soft on her, because I know that this business, this world, consumes such gentle creatures as her and destroys everything so pure and so perfect about her innocence. And I can preach that because I've lived it. I put her through emotional gauntlets that I don't put my son through, because he will never be catcalled, mansplained, or sexually harassed. And at 6 years old, I'm training her to be unbreakable, because that's the only way I could see her emotional survival in this world. And I hope she never has to teach her daughters that same lesson. So here's my 15 cents. Men, raise your daughters like my father raised me and my sisters. Teach them to take no shit from no one. My father raised 3 business-minded, educated women, and never not once did he place limitations on who or what we can be. Gender was not a barrier on what we could be. Anything and everything was attainable. He didn't fill our heads up with princesses and unicorns. And it was never his goal to have us married off in a house full of babies. He knew his daughters would be and could be more, and that's exactly what he did. And he gave, and we delivered. So Dennis Keith Guyton, AKA DK, AKA Pop Pop, thank you. You kept it real. And I just ask that men put that energy into the women of your life and just watch what magic can come. Thank you very much.